Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to the Amber Wave Show. This week we look back at our first game of the new year against Woodbridge Town, as well as looking forward to the upcoming action where the Bloaters are on the road to face Holston for what feels like the 100th time that we've played them this season, as well as being back at home midweek against Thetford.
Yeah, now on to the last match where we saw Yarmouth finally get 2025 underway against playoff hopefuls Woodbridge Town. The Bloaters had several injuries coming into this fixture and had to call upon a few youngsters from the reserves to sit on the bench, and even they were only available to name 4 substitutes.
Yep, the match started, and in the first minute, Yarmouth won an early corner, which was swung perfectly in by Ingram and created a bit of a panic in the Woodbridge box before they finally cleared the ball away to safety. And after the early action, we then settled in to the game, albeit on a very heavy pitch. Unfortunately, a fair few Yarmouth players found themselves in the book of the referee, and in our own opinions, we were definitely not getting the rub of the green. And with the referee being assessed that game, we knew it was going to be all that harder, as we all know what happened the last time we played with a ref being assessed. And if you don't, we ended up with 2 red cards in that game, which were both overturned.
Yeah, and in the 13th minute, a cross from Jesse Fenn found Kyle Ingram, and he tested the Woodbridge keeper with a decent effort, and 1 minute later, a cross from the left by Ingram found George Cousins in space, and his shot from 12 yards went a yard wide.
Yeah, on the half-hour mark, Fenn played in Duffy with a through ball on the left, and the winger to run through on goal, only to see his shot go just wide of the left-hand side of the post. 2 minutes later, Woodbridge had their first goal-scoring opportunity when a superb move along the left byline ended up with Woodbridge missing the target with a close-range effort from no more than 5 yards out.
Yeah, the heavy tackles continued from both sides leading up to the break, with the majority of yellow cards. It seemed to be handed out to the Yarmouth players, with, in our opinion, some very hard and bad tackles being let go for Woodbridge Town, and we went into the break 0-0.
Yep, the second half started with Jesse being substituted after a harsh yellow early in the first half, which I personally thought was a good idea to take him off, considering the referee seemed to be handing out yellow cards to Yarmouth players like Christmas cards.
So early in the second half, Barbat found himself running through on goal after a great pass from Kyle Ingram. However, 2 on-rushing defenders made him snatched at his shot, and it went well wide of the target. However, the Bloaters were on top for the majority of the second half, but could not find a pass to go through to open the scoring.
Yep, the final score was 0-0 in front of over 200 spectators, which is probably about 200 more than a certain other team gets who sit one division above us. What did you think?
I think you could tell we hadn't played in about a month. Obviously, the pitch probably wasn't the greatest it's ever been because of obviously the weather, and it had games played on it previously, like a week or so before us. I didn't think we weren't obviously at our greatest. I don't think neither team were really at their greatest. With a different ref, maybe could have been a slightly different game with things being let off, things being changed, like different decisions being made.
In my opinion, I think it was one of them where the referee knew he was being assessed, and he wouldn't let the game flow.
No, he just wanted to look like he was making decisions left, right, and centre to sort of show that he has authority.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and in fact, throughout vast periods of the games, it did feel like he didn't.
And there was one moment in the game where a foul was committed to a Yarmouth player, and both linos had to flag for it, and he still didn't notice it until about 5 seconds after.
And then gave a free kick to the others, to Woodbridge, which beggars belief with the performance.
Yeah. But now we look at this weekend's fixtures, where the Bloaters look ahead to the trip to Harlesden in the 4th and final meeting of the 2 sides this season, we hope. Out of the 3 prior meetings this season, Yarmouth have lost on penalties, won 2-1 and lost 3-1, but we are hoping for a win this weekend. Yarmouth come into the match with a mixture of form, with 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses, scoring 10 in that time, but conceding 11. We are currently sitting 10th in the league with 19 games played, which is exactly half of the games played for this season, with 9 wins, 4 draws and 6 losses, with a positive 12 goal difference.
Yeah, Holston come into this game sitting in 16th. place in the league with 22 games played, so 3 more than the Bloaters, with 6 wins, 6 draws, and 10 losses, and a minus 10 goal difference. And they are sitting on 24 points, so 7 points behind the Bloaters. Their form has been patchy with 2 wins and 3 losses.
Yeah. I think, again, it'll be quite a tough one because I think we've played Harleston so many times already, and it's always been quite a close, contested game. Obviously, it could be slightly different this weekend, but
if I remember, their pitch is literally just like a high school field.
It's just like a playing field with like a little tiny stand, I think.
From what I remember, like it's just like some weird some weird sort of mesh fencing around it.
Yeah.
But there's 3 things I remember from Harleston's ground. That weird mesh fencing behind it. They play on a school, basically a school field,
and that one little stand.
And they charge away supporters more than they do home supporters.
Yeah.
Odd, especially in non-league.
Yeah, maybe they knew Yarmouth were in town, so they thought they'd
up
the price. But yeah, I think, again, it'll be a tough game, but hopefully if we can get the job done, that'll be good, especially with our games in hand, so we need to try and win as many games as possible on top of the games in hand. But yeah, hopefully we can pick up the 3 points.
Yeah.
But yeah, and our second fixture to cover this week is our midweek game against Thetford Town. Thetford currently sitting top of the table and will almost definitely will stay top of the table heading into midweek, unless there is a 33-goal swing between them and Ely this weekend. They have played 24 games this season, so 5 more than the Bloaters, with 15 wins, 5 draws and 4 losses, one of which did come against the Bloaters earlier in the season.
Yeah, their form has been pretty much on point with a team that is top of the table. Over the last 5 games, they have won 4 and have drawn 1. In that time, they have managed to score a whopping 19 goals in those 5 matches, only conceding 2, meaning they're on great form. Those 2 conceded were in a 2-2 draw to Dereham. So
who are doing all right as well at the top.
So scoring 19 goals,
conceding 2.
So 17 goals in 4 games. If you take away that Dereham 2-2, they've scored 17 goals in 4 games.
Yeah.
That's
like roughly just over
4, 8, 12, 60. That's
4.
just over 4 a game, excluding that Dereham score.
Yeah, so they're obviously very good in front of goal, so we would have to be quite solid defensively.
I mean, look, we're playing them at home, so we're not going to have to battle on Thetford's pitch, where Thetford's pitch, you got a 5-foot disparity in height from the corner flag to the middle, so it might be on a level pitch. We don't know.
Obviously a bit further out with the racetrack, but I'd rather be a bit further away from the pitch with the racetrack than being on a slope.
Yeah, on the Cliff of Dover.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be a very tough game. But obviously at home, hopefully with a big attendance. I know it'll be midweek, so it might be a bit harder to get high attendance, but I still think we'd get over 100.
Yeah, I think maybe push towards 200, high hundreds, maybe 200 on a midweek.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game, but hopefully we can push through it. But I'd be happy with a draw, to be honest with it.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with a draw.
I think win against Harleston,
get confidence,
and I'll be happy with a draw against Thetford.
4 points from 6.
Yeah, I know that we beat them earlier on the season.
Yeah, but that was completely. That was sort of when we had a bit of momentum, and we'd just come up. We had that early win of the season against Long Melford on the first day, and then we went to Thetford, and we were just on form that day. We were just on point with everything. Yeah. But obviously, as we've got used to the league, I think it's because, and we've had a few injuries within there, but I think we've adjusted well to this league, and we're still doing really well. We've still got a lot of games to play.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we win our games in hand,
we could easily be in the playoff contention. Yeah. So it's not over until that final kick of the final game of the season.
It's not over till the fat lady sings.
But yeah, it'll be a very tough game, but yeah, we just need to try our best and try and get a result.
Yeah. Other than that, that's really everything that's been covered for this week. So we hope you enjoyed, and as always, up the Bloaters.